Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Carolina Panthers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Uptown Charlotte at rain-soaked Bank of America Stadium. A short time ago, a scene that never fails to stir up the folks here in Charlotte. Cam Newton strutting his way onto the field. His guys are fired up as they get set to go toe-to-toe with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they come off a good win in the opener on the road, and they get a second road game here.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't really do them any favors, but if they can win here and get to 2-0 on the road, they can be well set up for the rest of the year.
Come on now.
They'll begin the drive with Hunt. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And this offensive unit should have a lot of juice coming off the big output that they had 1 week ago.
Nothing like confidence, is there? When you've played well the week before, you can't wait to get back on the field and do it again.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. Now the starting lineup here defensively for Pittsburgh. This unit currently 7th in the NFL, Charles, in stopping the run.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him. From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. And this is caught by Watkins. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And 15 yards there on the catch and run. So opening drive 3rd down, they complete the slant to move the sticks.
And ordinarily, it's a high percentage pass when you throw it. And receivers like to run that route because it gets the ball in their hands pretty quickly. Just a couple of quick steps upfield, break towards the middle, the ball should be there, and then they can do some work afterwards.
And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there for Carolina. And even 50 yards on the ground. So down inside the 5-yard line. I have to say, really just a poor job defensively there.
You're exactly right. As a former defensive back, that was not played well at all. But give credit to the offense and give credit to the guy running the football. He gets it down all the way inside the 5.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, 1st down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on 1st down in this situation because 2nd down, that gives me an option of running play action. Maybe.
And he takes it into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers take it right down and score on the opening drive. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play.
Good job.
The numbers for Bell on the ground in the game last week. 24 carries, 95 yards.
As a good start to the season, they got the win, and they were able to establish a good running game. Nothing that just blew people away, but a nice solid base to get things started, and they expect that to get tuned up and get better as the season moves on.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. And let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
Out wide was the youngest player in the NFL in 2017, Juju Smith-Schuster. And he also had the longest reception in the league last season at 97 yards. Actually well-schooled in route running and able to run from both outside and moving inside to the slot position in order to make big plays.
This is Cobb with a catch right side. And he'll be out of bounds. A gain of 39 that time.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
They'll run for it with Hyde. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Now that was a terrific play. We're down here near the goal line, and only one word comes to mind for me, and that's overwhelmed. Because they absolutely overwhelmed the offensive line. He came free and made the hit in the backfield.
Pass incomplete.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
Garoppolo now. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
And Boswell's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
Carolina getting set to take the field. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, you know, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
On first down, it's Newton. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, Get him out in the flat and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They'll run it here with Hunt. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go. Defense doing their job, really nowhere to run the football.
Yeah, it's almost textbook, wasn't it? Every place he tried to find an open spot, there just wasn't one. Congrats to the defense, no gain.
Well, fitting your gaps, right?
I love it. You're exactly right.
And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
His first catch, good for 9 and a 1st down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
On the NFL scoreboard, an update from Foxborough. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. James has it, and he's going to get this inside the 30. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And his throw is incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Garoppolo again here on 2nd and 10. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Garoppolo again. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Boswell's kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Here's Newton. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one goes for 24 yards.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the 1st round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
They added a lot. It's caught inside the 25. They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. And that one results in 35 yards. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it seems almost effortless.
And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. And always a good 1st half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've been settling quite a bit. They've been able to move the football some, but they've just been settling. That's one of the reasons they're down on the scoreboard.
I love that word you picked, settling, because nowadays in this NFL, you're thinking touchdown almost every drive because everything's so high-powered. Yeah, you'll take the field goal, but you always feel like you're leaving points out there when you don't put it in the end zone.
They'll be trying to put it in the end zone here on this drive.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. 2 yards on the 1st down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the 2nd down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on 3rd down to keep the drive going. To throw, it's Garoppolo. And an alley to run. It's a Pittsburgh 1st down, a gain of 13. On 1st down, Garoppolo. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. And that is incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. And it's second down.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
There's Garoppolo to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A gain of 32 that time. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Le'Veon Bell, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Steelers are within a 2-point conversion of tying this game.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did. Speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it works very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
They'll run. This is Hunt. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because they'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
They've gone to the second quarter in Buffalo. The Bills have taken an early lead against the Dolphins. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. Here's Newton looking left side for Watkins, and he's got it. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. 3rd and long. It's Newton. It's brought in by Janis. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he'll kick it away for the second time. This is fielded at the 7. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we can draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. And he can't quite bring it in. Might have heard footsteps there across the middle. Second down.
But he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
Garoppolo to try again on second down. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to lead to a third down. Garoppolo. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On fourth down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. And taken right on the 30. Wow, evasive.
Make a miss.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. There's DJ Moore as he and the rest of the offense head back out there. They've got the lead. They haven't really had to utilize him all that much so far, but I guess if you're winning on the scoreboard, not too much to complain about.
Not at all, but you know those guys out wide, they want as many catches as they can possibly get. They may need him later on if things get a little tighter.
Yeah, so far, 2 catches. We'll see what happens here as the game progresses. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Newton now nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Off play action. Newton. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Watkins, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Newton now to throw. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. And the Steelers signal for another timeout, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. The Panthers on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Again, Newton. And that is incomplete. Artie Burns, former first-rounder, there to break that one up.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
And we put our focus now on Le'Veon Bell. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Back to the air on second. It's Garoppolo. He'll rifle this one. And got his man. Complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 32 that time. Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. Lets it fly deep for cut. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Washington in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6.
Well, someone has a sense of the dramatic here, don't they? Scoring this late in the half to take the lead going into the locker room.
Now they just don't want to misstep misfortune on the next kickoff because there's still a little bit of time left on that clock.
Yeah, you do have to bring that up, don't you? In the NFL, every play is critical. And if you give up something cheap there, all that advantage they just gained goes right out the window.
The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. You want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Around the NFL, we've got a second quarter score. And the Bengals out to the early advantage. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. The 3rd quarter begins with a run by Hyde. And he stopped immediately there. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now after the run by Bell, here's another 1st and 10. And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
The give is to Bell. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. They'll go again with Bell, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Well, the Steelers on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, not it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
And that is incomplete. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down. You got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
This is Bell on the dump-off. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll make this a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They'll run high. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. They get it to him running left. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Carlos Hyde, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They run again with Hunt. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Call that a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. Here's Michael Pilardi now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taking it about the 36. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Elsewhere, second half is underway up in Orchard Park. The Dolphins have scored again to extend their lead a bit. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. They'll start out on the ground with Bell, and he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Back to the ground. This time it's Hyde. And all the ball's out. Hyde fumbled it. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. If you got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he's got this down to the 35. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Here's McCaffrey, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Jamal Sheard on the stop.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now it's Hunt, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as the Panthers on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Out of the gun, Newton. And he's going to go down here, a sack They push him back to the 34. Stephon Tuitt able to get him down behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Around the NFL, 3rd quarter from Foxborough. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. First down, a run with Hyde. Trucks over him, and he's got this down to the 35. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another 1st down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
It'll be a gain of 17 at a Pittsburgh 1st. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the 1st half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
Garoppolo now. Man open right side. It's Rodgers. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off inside the 5. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Here's Newton. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Javon Hargrave in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. And, Charles, they only needed a yard there. They try to pass the football. What do you think?
Well, I can't really go all out and kill them for the call, because that 3rd and 1 fake and throw it over the top for a big play, that often does work. But in this situation, the pressure.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. 30, the 20. Touchdown, Carolina. A big play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Panthers are able to get this back within a touchdown.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting. But I am excited about this. I know you are, too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. A little surprising they wouldn't go for 2, but this is up and good. And the lead is down to a field goal. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping to you on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. Because if there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again. And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It'll be a gain of 17 at a Pittsburgh first. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st down in field goal range already. Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. To throw is Garoppolo. And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that.
And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a two-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Boswell on now to kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. Now on the return, oh no, the ball is loose. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. The Panthers are going to take another timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
21.
On second down, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. A tip carry for Hyde. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Now Garoppolo. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The quick slant caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a gain of 6, and that ought to just about do it.
They'll give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for them, too.
They come out here in the eye. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage. Especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
An incomplete pass on first down. Here's 2nd and goal. Oh, Garoppolo's going to throw it. Buying time to his left. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you kind of run out of your running plays, fire another one into the end zone.
11. Here we go. 12, fellas. Here we go. He's checking.
They'll try and run it in with Bell. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And the Panthers coming out now. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and shouldn't.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Rashawn Golden, and he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
And the knee is taken for the Steelers out of the victory formation. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys who's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Get your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for Pittsburgh, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Los Angeles Rams. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Okay, you love it. Look. Go. Go. Look at you go. Okay, you bubbling. Look. Yeah. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash coming in. Come get your man, Slim Booker bugging me. Just need a bag, quit all that jaw jackery. Don't even me that I don't want none of it. He's mad about it, had enough of it. Whoa, watch what you saying, how that poppin' and shaking. Got is a lazy, my posse deep and I raiding. We act a fool for the paper. Had a dream and I made it. El Camino on Dayton's, bitches guess over bait. Put the bread on me. Bet on my bacon, big and flat in the bacon. I might just roll out today. I might just roll out to Vegas, head back to my old ways. Cop a roof for all day. Look at me, baby. Look at me, baby. Don't I look like a million? I'm about to clean out the safe. Don't I look like somebody that just be bodying everything? All that talking is great, but I don't be talking. I air it out. All the problems have gotten easy to bury. I'd rather kiss on my. I've been broke way longer than I've been rich, so until it levels out.